Can you state your name for me, please?
My name is Ivory Toldson, Associate Professor at Howard University, Senior Research Analyst for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation.
Now, one of the things we've been talking about is saving black boys and the issue of saving black boys. Mm-hmm. In Milwaukee, we really have a serious problem here, like most urban communities.
Right.
Can you tell me about what does it take as far as a political will to change the outlook for saving black boys here?
Yeah, as far as political will is concerned, politicians typically respond to what they're hearing from their constituents. So the constituents need to be more involved in the process. But I think we also need the best information. And so, the question is political will to do what exactly? And a lot of times we're making decisions based on this notion that our black males have some sort of problem, that their behavior is worse than others, and if somehow we can correct their behavior, then we're doing them some justice. But, it's really more systemic issues. It's that they're going to schools where they're routinely being targeted, and there's this assumption that they have this proneness for violence, and so it leads school leaders and also teachers to treat them with less deference and less respect. And a lot of times they internalize that negative attitude towards them, and they feel less motivated to participate in the learning process. So I think overall we need to change the culture of the school. We need to build schools based on learning, compassion, opportunities for all, and the highest standards of academic success, and an idea that every young black male is capable of achieving the highest level of academic success.
One of the things you talked about was negative statistics and how some of them they're just not true. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, probably the mother of all of them is the notion that there are more black men in prison than in college. That came from a 2001 report by the Justice Policy Institute, which at the time calculated that there were about 100,000 more black men in prison than in college. There's a lot of question about the original stat, but one thing that we all agree on right now, including the original publishers of that report, is that today that can't be any further from the truth, as there are about 1.3 million black males in college right now and about 181,000 black men in prison. Of course, that's too many black men in prison, but if we repeat things like there are more black men in prison than in college, and that's not true, a lot of times we defeat the spirit of a lot of young black men who are just trying to figure out how they're going to get through the day. And we also leave them vulnerable to different stereotypes that a lot of our educators may have when they go into the classroom. We don't want our educators to believe that when they look at the young black men in their room, those kids have a better chance of going to prison than the college. In fact, if you look at only the college age population, we have the college population of black males outnumbering those in prison 4-1. So black men nationally have a much greater chance of going to college, and that's an attitude that we should present to them. Other negative stats that's out there that's pervasive is the notion that 50% of black males drop out. That's because people confuse the graduation rate from the dropout rate. 50% of black males do not graduate with their cohorts, but a lot of them still graduate on time. That number is inflated for black kids because a lot of their parents are trying to move them out of underperforming districts, and they're being counted as dropouts when in fact they haven't dropped out, and they go on to graduate with their class. So that's another common one. And there's other negative stats. I would encourage people to watch the movie Hoodwinked, which I contributed to and participated in that film. The producer of that and director was Jenks Morton, but that challenges a lot of these stereotypes and myths that we hear so often.
All right. Well, thank you for taking this time with me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.